Hi newbies, Nurse Ruthie here. Thinking about going live at work? I don't care if you're working at Subway. Do not do it. Do not do it, especially in healthcare. Do not do it. Nowadays, pretty much every facility has a social media policy. Look it up. Look it up. Because I'm sure you heard about the poor nurse that got fired and now they're going after her license because she went live on TikTok, I believe. Everyone kept warning her, saying, you're violating HIPAA, and she wasn't listening. And then somebody reported her, and I believe she came on later and she said, I should have listened to you guys. So let's all learn from other people's mistakes. So HIPAA is actually a federal law, kind of medical information about a patient. So I looked up on this website, and I'm going to link it in the description. And I had no idea that someone's name is actually not a HIPAA violation, like calling somebody's first and last name. I never knew that. I was shocked to read that because whenever I go out to the waiting room, I call a patient, I always either call their first name or their last name, and I always check their armband. And also that I do that is because people can hear their first and last name, and with social media, all they got to do is just look it up real quick, and they're all in their business. So maybe they should update that. Talk about what HIPAA is. So let's say, you're a new nurse or you're a nurse and you're at the grocery store. This is a true story that happened to me at the grocery store. I don't know if I was with my scrubs or whatever, but this girl, somehow we started talking about being, that I was a nurse. And she's like, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen? A lot of people say that. What's the craziest thing that you've ever seen? And I learned to tell them that actually, I really can't tell you because it's a HIPAA violation. I don't know if anybody in this line knows the story that I would tell you. Even though I'm not saying their name, there's a possibility that somebody in this town could know somebody that went to a nearby hospital and heard the same story. So that would be considered a HIPAA violation. Also, what I cannot believe is not a HIPAA violation as well, according to this website, is taking pictures of x-rays. Well, I have seen people get fired because they have posted x-ray of certain things in certain areas of the body. That person works at so-and-so hospital. You could put two and two together and be like, sometimes you may have some celebrities, some local celebrities that come in and you want to say, oh my God, I want to tell everybody I met this person. You cannot tell anybody. It is a HIPAA violation. I always think about the story about the royal family. One of them, they were having their baby and somebody called and said that they were part of the royal family, wanted an update. Well, come to find out, it was a fucking news reporter who was lying. And the poor nurse gave them the update. Well, when she found out what she did, she actually unalived herself. That is how much guilt she had. It's crazy. You have to be very careful about what information you give. Even, when you're in orientation, they're like, make sure that you're not talking about patients in the cafeteria, in the elevators. Because also, let's think about when you've gone to the doctor, the hospital, or someplace, you overhear information about another patient and you're like, well, damn, are they keeping my stuff private? Is my information safe? And while we're talking about that, hi, Chester. I'm going to have to ask you to step out, sir. You didn't like that. But while we're talking about that, let's say that you actually have to go to your hospital. Let's say you work at a hospital and you or a family member are checking in. There's always that one or two people that all up in your business. So also with HIPAA, it's a need to know basis. So if they're not taking care of you, if they don't need to know what's going on, then you don't go in their chart. You do not go in your friend's chart. Do not go in your chart. Do not go in your cousin's chart. Do not do it because you will be fired. Okay? So what I suggest that you do is whenever you have to go to an appointment or something that has to do in the healthcare system, places they allow you to have where whatever provider is taking care of you has to actually put in their password and state why they are actually gaining access to your chart. So it would be like direct care or they're doing billing, because that keeps track. Either way, it keeps track of who's in your chart. But now that you have this extra protection on there, it's going to really say like, hey, what are you doing in this chart? Like, do you really need to be in this chart? So protect your information, protect your patient's information, the family's information. Just because the patient has a family member in the room does not give them automatic permission to hear everything that's going on with that patient. Legit. Another story that I learned in nursing school. A gentleman was in the room. There was a young lady in the room with him. She had been there all day. Well, they come in, they start talking about his status. She had no idea. When I say status, that's like a term for saying HIV positive. And she had no clue. Well, guess what? He sued the hospital for HIPAA. He sued them and he won because he never gave permission for them to talk about anything about his healthcare. Because, you know, as a husband or as a wife, you're there with your caregiver, with your loved one, and here comes this nurse, you know, is it okay if we talk about everything? And they're like, of course, I'm his wife. So now I've learned to say, due to HIPAA privacy law, I am required to ask, may we speak about everything about your healthcare? And they usually say, yes, this is my so-and-so, this is my so-and-so. So I have permission, and I do document that in the chart, just in case. It is a sensitive situation. Let's say they came in to triage without their significant other, and there's some things that they had mentioned to me, and they specifically said, I don't want anybody to know that. I don't want my family to know this, whatever. And then I go into the room, or whatever, somebody else takes care, you know, comes in and they ask the question, hey, can we talk about everything? And then they're like, yeah. So, as your cue, you can ask whoever that person is, the visitor in the room, to step out. Could you please step out for just a moment? And then you can ask that patient, like bluntly, hey, you talked about XYZ. Are you sure you want me to talk about this in front of this person? And they either say yes or no. And you have to respect that. It's somebody's birthday and you guys want to like take a group picture at work. Be very careful, because there have been times where there could be possible patient information in the background, and that could be tricky. So be careful with that. If we have not met, my name is Ruthie, and I have developed the Newbie Nurse podcast. This is a platform for positivity, for mentoring. I'm trying to build this platform to keep nursing positive and to support new nurses. Please like, follow. If you want to talk shit, give me some advice. Hey, I'm learning as I go. And it used to hurt my feelings. I remember one time somebody put all these middle fingers up, like lots of them. I was like, damn, that was some dedication. And I was like, damn, they must really hated my information or me, whatever. But the algorithm loved it, so thank you. As I've read through, there are some exceptions to HIPAA privacy. Now that could be like if you are reporting abuse of a child or an elderly person or someone that may have a disability, that is not a HIPAA violation if you're speaking to law enforcement. So it says failure to comply to the privacy regulation, you can get a fine for $25,000 and a year in jail. Is it worth it? No, those bologna sandwiches and shit ain't worth it. No, thank you. It says the HIPAA fines go from $25,000 to $50,000 and to like 10 years in jail for some gossip. Fuck that. Not worth it. It says if you have intent to sell. That's crazy. I guess that's like people in like, or if you have malicious intent. I guess that's like the tabloids or something, I would assume. That's crazy. People wild. Listen, long story short, do not go live. Do not post anything. I wouldn't even tag where you work. I wouldn't even put that. Let's go through it again. No pictures. Don't go gossiping. Don't go telling people over dinner like what's the worst thing you ever saw, because you never know who's in the next table. You never know. It doesn't matter if you're in a different state, a different fucking country. This is a small world. You never know, and it is not worth it. Especially nowadays, all they have are people just recording. And is it worth it? It's not worth it, people. Yes, you look cute in your scrubs. Yes, you should be very proud of yourself. But just make sure that you don't have anything to do with where you work. Like, do not give them any reason to write you up or for you to lose your license. It's not worth it. What you should focus on is taking care of your patients, about building yourself up to be a better nurse for these patients. And if you are being distracted by alive or recording yourself doing med passes or charting. I mean, if something goes wrong in a court of law, they say you were distracted. I have your social media account and it shows that you were at this time, you posted this, and you were actually at work and you weren't on your break. And so that shows me that you were focusing on the social media aspect. I'm not saying that the hospital will blame you, but the hospital may blame you. You want to take that chance? So please do not go live. Do not take pictures. Do not tell your friends, family about stories, about things that have happened. You never know who they know. You never know. They might not trust you. I've had friends, family come as my patients and other family members don't know. Like, it's none of their business. And if I have a friend that comes in, I would tell them, hey, I just want to let you know that, well, first of all, I won't take care of my friend. Most likely in the past, like, I didn't know, but it's a conflict of interest. So you should not take care of your friend or family or anybody that you really know. Because first of all, make them really uncomfortable for a lot of business that I don't want people to know. That's on my chart. I don't want people to know. So let your charge nurse or whoever know, hey, I know this person. It's a conflict of interest. And I'd prefer if somebody else was their nurse, just for them to feel more comfortable. Yeah, just think about, do you want somebody telling your story over a campfire? So this all goes back to treat people how you want to be treated. Because what you put out there is what you're going to get back. Also, venting about work, and it's even in a vague way, is considered HIPAA violation. I once worked at a facility that I guess it was on social media. Yeah, it was on social media. They were talking about room 412, and they were like, that's all they said was room 412 or something like that, and they got fired. You want to ask yourself, can someone identify your coworker or a patient from a story that you're telling? Because if you can, it is a HIPAA violation. People nosy. They are nosy, and especially if they don't like you, they will do whatever they can to take you down, bitch. It will be something stupid. So if you want to vent about what's going on at work, I suggest that you can record yourself, but just don't put it out there, or you can use a journal. It's not worth it. Things that you can post is the journey that you've gone through to become a nurse, what you're learning as a nurse, as long as it does not include anything about patients. So protect your license, protect your patients, and protect your peace.